Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a fun video. I'm going to be answering your questions that you left on my video a couple days ago. So these are all going to be reseller related questions that I go through and answer. I have my handy dandy iPad. So I'm going to start on the video I put out 2 days ago, and it was like full-time reseller vlog listing 100 items, your questions answered. So there was a lot of them. I don't know if I'll be able to get through all of the questions that you guys answered, but I'm going to do my best. So I appreciate you. I also just want to say thank you for all the positive comments that I received yesterday from you guys. I released a video talking about how I made $15,000 in 1 month, and you guys had so many kind things to say to me, and I read through every single comment. I'm sorry if I didn't respond to all of them, but I think there was around 300 of them. But you guys, it meant so much to me, and I'm so thankful for all of you. So let's dive right in. Hopefully I can answer some of your questions that you've had about reselling. If you don't know, I'm a full-time reseller. I've been reselling for 4 years. I average about $100,000 in sales every year. Right now I'm selling on the site called Poshmark, and it's great. Today has been an amazing Poshmark day as well. I had over $1,000 in sales before noon. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. Okay, so let's dive in here. I'm going to try and get everyone's name correct, so I'm sorry if I butcher your name. If you're new around here, I'm really bad at pronouncing things, so let's see. Deanna says, weird question for anyone who can answer it. Do you know why my Mac Air suddenly stopped letting me share my closet? I can share it on my iPhone and iPad, but not my Mac. I have no idea. It's driving me crazy. That is very strange. Have you updated it to the latest version? Like maybe there's something to do with that. Maybe sign in and out of your account, restart your computer. Those are all the things that I would start with. But I'm not like a computer pro. Look at this. This pencil is making me do like I'm a teacher. I don't think teachers do this though. Pam says, I sell on eBay. Can you tell me how to get a stock photo for my listings? That is a very common question, and honestly, I just Google. I have a lot of videos where I show you how I get stock photos. There's actually 2 specific ones as well that I can think of off the top of my head. I have a like how to find free people stock photos and build listings, and how to do the same thing with Nordstrom Rack items. And then also if you want to watch my how to list fast on Poshmark video, that also goes through exactly how I find stock photos. So those 3 videos will help you. But I will say that I, as a former eBay seller, I would not ever use stock photos on eBay, because if a brand flags you for using their stock photos, they will hit your account with a Vero, and if you get that, they can actually suspend your account. So, and they will suspend your account, I believe it's like usually like a week the first time, and so forth, until you can eventually get kicked off for having too many strikes. So I never used stock photos when I was on eBay, and I do not suggest using stock photos on eBay. I had a lot of questions about my mentorship program, so just to kind of clear the air on that. I have a mentorship program. I take around 6 to 8 people a month, and I do a group mentorship, like accountability group. I'm not going to tell you guys everything that's in it, but this year I decided to only do that in January, February, and March. So because the rest of the year is really busy. April's my birthday. I have the ability to do it in May, but we'll see. And then June, school gets out. July, August, the kids are out of school for summer, and I spend time with them. September, they go back to school. My son has a hard time transitioning. And then it's holiday season. So for me, I have to have a lot of availability to hold mentorship groups, because it takes a lot of my time, like a lot. It's not just like those hour meetings twice a week. I have a lot of work that I put into it. So unfortunately, I don't have any spaces open this year as it stands, and the groups are closed. But I am trying to work on figuring out a better plan for it. We'll see. I will keep you guys posted. Delia's mom says, I'm having trouble with the bundle sales. How do you as a seller add the items? There's a couple videos that could help you with this. How to make sales fast on Poshmark. I actually show you how to create bundles, and I have 2 of those videos on my channel. Both of those videos will show you as a seller how to add items to someone's bundle. But let me see if I can do it on the iPad really fast. Okay, so this person, Mary liked an item in my closet, right? So I'm going to go to the top. There's a little symbol where her bundles are. We're going to switch to sell view. Okay, so she doesn't have anything that she liked now. She must have unliked the item. That's okay. We can still add it. Mary M5675. So Mary M5675. We're going to go into the listing. We're going to hit that, and then we're going to send to friends. I guess you can, hold on. Search. Okay, search Mary actually, let's just send this to Kayla. So we're going to send it to my friend Hazel Hearts VTG. Okay, so look at, you just hit search, you put in their name, you'll search them, search for Hazel Hearts Vintage. Okay, I found her. I'm going to click on her closet. Click. And then it will have sent this to her. She's probably going to text me in a second saying, why did you send me maternity pants? Sorry, Kayla. But now we'll go ahead and we'll look for her. So we'll look for people. Let's find her. So find people. Where is it on here? I don't use my iPad often. Hazel Hearts Vintage is one of my very best friends, if you don't know that. Okay, now let's go up to her bundle at the top, and we'll switch to sell view. And there they are, the maternity pants. Ta-da! So that's how you do it. I'm going to put, sorry Kayla, love you. Sorry, used you as an example. Okay, let's see. There we go. Sorry, Kayla. Go check out Kayla's closet, and please go share some of her items so she doesn't hate me. Let's go back to the question, shall we? So anyway, I hope that helps. There's 2 ways. You can either, if they liked an item, you just go into their bundle and you can share it right from there. If they haven't liked it, you can still go on to a listing and share it. Ta-da! Okay. Debbie says, I have been on Posh for 2 months and I have made some sales, but my big question is to list 5 items a daily, 35 weekly, at least that adds up. I know you need to spend money to make money, but when sales aren't high, then what about spending? How long does it take to work? Most of my items are decent, but then I second guess myself if I'm buying the right things. Help, please. Hey, Debbie. So that's a good question. Basically, you're asking, hey, how much do I invest in my business before I start to see a return? That's what I got out of that question. So how much am I going to be spending until I start to see, some money coming back? And honestly, that's a hard question to answer without kind of seeing your closet. But I would start by not spending money. So when I first started reselling, I sold everything in my house. I didn't want any more on eBay. One of my big sales I remember right in the beginning was like some vitamin powder stuff that we had ordered and never used. And I bundled it up and I sold it. It sold for like $100. And then I took that $100 and I went to the bins and I started buying items to sell there by the pound. And then I just started reinvesting. So I wasn't really spending my own money. I was spending the business's money. And that's how you kind of have to do it. So if I was you and I didn't have a lot of capital, I didn't have cash flow quite yet, I would just focus on reinvesting as much as you can. The biggest thing I see in reselling is that people don't reinvest what they make and they just take that money as their own money. So you have to be careful about that, right? You should have 2 different you should have 2 different accounts. You should have a personal account and your business account. And then you should pay yourself, take owner draws from your business account for yourself. But most of that money, a high percentage, should be left in the account to reinvest in your business to see it grow. There's not a specific timeline, unfortunately. It's really just going to depend on what you're listing and what you're able to find. So I hope that answered your question. I know that was kind of like a, huh? But I think that makes sense. I can't, a couple people asked me to look at their closets, and I'm not going to do that just because that takes a little bit more time. What anthro brands do I stay away from? I wouldn't say that I stay away from Anthropologie brands as much as I am careful about style of Anthropologie brands, right? So, there are certain brands that, you know, they don't really do well. The older styles don't really do well, but then there's always that like magical style that does well. So for almost every anthro piece I find, I'll quickly look it up. Sometimes I'll just look up the brand. I'll show you. So like, let's say I found, that's hard to do on here, but okay. So I have Anthropologie. What I'll do is I'll just sort it by price, high to low. And then I will sort it again by solds. Sold items. And then you'll start to be able to see like the top ones that are selling for a lot of money. And you can usually type it. So what I would do at the top here is I would also type in the brand. So let's type in the brand Floret. That's an Anthropologie brand. And now we can kind of see sort by high to low. So I'm at the thrift store and I'm like, okay, I found this Floret piece. I don't always pick up Floret anymore, but let's just quickly look and see. I still look a lot of things up, guys. Let's just quickly look and see. Can do a quick search. It takes 30 seconds and see if this is one of the styles that Floret is actually selling. So, because some of their pieces sell for $75, $80, right? But most of their pieces are selling for $20. So I just kind of filter it like that. I quickly look and see if it's a good piece or not. And then I move forward. I hope that makes sense. So I don't necessarily stay away from brands as much as and when it comes to Anthropologie, as much as I'm looking at style of Anthropologie. Next up. Okay. This is a question I get asked a lot, actually. Okay, Thrifty Shelly. Do you believe there's a benefit to being a Posh Ambassador? I've been a hobby seller on Posh since 2016, and I just got notified that I qualify to be an ambassador. I'm just wondering if it really boosts your closet. Thank you so much for all you do with these videos. Thanks, Thrifty Shelly. You know, good question. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. There are two sides of this. Some people say it doesn't do anything. Some people say, like, it hurts your closet. Some people say it does stuff. I don't necessarily see sorry. When I talk this much, my throat gets dry. I don't really see like a huge benefit myself from doing that. I see more benefit from like sharing my items and stuff. But again, I've been an ambassador for so long at this point that it's hard to say yes or no. Do I think it can hurt? No. And if you have the ability to do it, why not? Right? Like, I don't think it can hurt. It does get your store a little bit more traffic, and I think it gives buyers a little bit more, like they feel a little bit more secure buying from someone who's an ambassador. I don't think it's going to like majorly raise your sales, right? You have to have good items at a good price, stuff people want. That's what's going to raise your sales. So yes, I would do it, but I would not expect much out of it. Someone asked how Joe organizes. Shelly asked how Joe organizes the inventory, and many people said, oh, go check out the video. So there is a video about how Joe does all of our inventory system. It's honestly super easy and very inexpensive. It's just IKEA bags with numbers or letters on the outside, and then it's just the bags that we're going to ship in numbered on the inside. Very, very easy. I go watch that shipping video he did a couple weeks ago. Hi, do I remember the very first item I sold? Monica says, hi, do you remember the first item I sold? Not an information question, just a nosy one. Thanks for the awesome videos. That's a cool question. I don't. No. So I managed, I think the first item I ever sold on eBay, so I guess that would kind of like be this, was MAC eyeshadow when I was like 17 years old. I I've always kind of used eBay, and I remember my great aunt, I used to collect Beanie Babies, and my great aunt would like buy tons of Beanie Babies for me on eBay and like send checks in the mail and all that. So I always kind of knew about eBay, and I used to be really obsessed with this like MAC pigment, like loose powder. And I think a lot of the colors you could only get if you had like a professional license. And so I would buy it off of eBay. And then I would get some like extra colors sometimes that I couldn't use, and I would resell it on eBay. But that was like very rare. It wasn't like a thing I did often. But I mean, that would be like my first eBay sale ever, I guess. I don't think I ever told that story. But as far as like Poshmark and stuff, I think the first Poshmark sale I had on this account, I had like a previous account that I shut down to like open this to kind of have a fresh start, was a army camo print Lululemon tank top, and it sold to my friend Lauren for like $30. It was a hot, like the camo Lululemon was really, really trending at that point. Coal City Loot is her name, actually. So I'm pretty sure she bought my first Poshmark item on this account. Okay, so Susan, this is a good question that I get answered often. Susan said, or do I get answered often, that I get asked often? My legs are falling asleep. Susan said, do I respond to buyers who lowball offer you? I get them offering me less than half of what I have sometimes listed, and I just decline because it's frustrating. Do I counter offer? Yes. So, and there's a lot of people who commented back, and so it's interesting. So someone said, I've seen her answer this before. She says no, emotions related to offers. And there's kind of some back and forth chatter. But, so my answer to lowball offers, I always respond. I feel like sometimes I'll decline, but it's pretty rare. And it might be like me just being in a hurry, or that person has like sent me a bunch of offers, and I know that at some point someone has to say no, but I don't have any emotion when it comes to running my business. I try and take all emotion out of it. So what I do, if someone sends me a $5 offer on a $100 item, I'll just counter back with my lowest offer. So maybe my offer is $75. And I have had people take my lowest offer in the past. So I never decline. I always just counter. I do have sometimes people who go back and forth with me for a while, and then we kind of meet somewhere in the middle. I have people who just they ghost me after that. But I, as a buyer, I also send low offers all the time. And I do it because I want to know if there's room for negotiation or not. So I have sent out offers that are very low on items, and sometimes they'll counter back, and it will be a counter that I'm like, okay, cool, I'll take that. Sometimes they'll decline, and sometimes I'll buy it at full price if they decline my offer because I still really want that item. I have done that before. Recently, I talk about it in a video I just did about athletic wear. So for me, like, I watched a documentary recently, and it talked about like negotiations and how, like, in some cultures it's expected to negotiate, and that really stuck with me, because some cultures it is a thing. Like, it is a thing to negotiate, and if you don't negotiate, they think you're stupid. Like, there was this whole piece in this documentary I watched. What was it called? Oh, it was the documentary about Iris, the woman who wears the big glasses, and she's like kind of a fashion icon. I watched it a couple years ago on Netflix, and there was so much I took away from that documentary. And so for me, negotiating is just something that, after I saw that, I was like, oh, that makes total sense. Some people just want to negotiate. Like, that's just part of their buying experience. And so I just don't take any offense to it. I either take it, or I counter, or it's like, whatever. Move on. Okay. Whew. Robin said that she purchased one of the photo boxes that I'm sitting in right now. And she got it from the seller and it was used. And that's not the first time I've heard that. So my friend Ashley also bought one of these boxes and it came used as well. And I think part of that is Amazon. I don't necessarily think it's all the seller, because Amazon might have got a return and restocked it or whatever it is. So but when that happened to her, the seller totally took care of her, like sent her out a new one. She just contacted them and it wasn't a huge deal. So if you have problems, remember that it might not be the person selling. It might also be Amazon, and just reach out and talk to them. It was probably a mistake at the end of the day. New England Betty Boop said a lot. Her question: how far along on your reselling journey did you start making 5 or more sales per day on Poshmark? How many new listings would you say you had to list daily to achieve that? Thank you in advance. Always love your videos. Thank you, New England Betty Boo. So I still don't make 5 sales every day consistently. Depends on how consistent I'm being. So I didn't list for a few days. I didn't make as many sales. And it's not even just about like listing every day on Poshmark. It's about being consistent. So I didn't list anything new today. But I still did over $1,000 in sales before noon today. And I'm going to go way more in depth in this question and more in tomorrow's video about how I got those sales and what I think kind of triggered all of those sales to come in. But I still, to this day, don't always make 5 sales a day. It really depends on how consistent I'm being in my business. Oh, there's so many like just sweet comments in here, you guys. It means so much to me. I know that I don't respond. Someone actually gave me guff in this thing, like, why do people even try and comment? She never responds. I do actually respond sometimes, but I always have to like limit how much time I spend responding, because I could spend 5 hours a day answering comments. But I read every single one. Sometimes I just like heart it or say thank you, but I don't want to just say thank you over and over again. You know, that seems repetitive. So let's keep going. So our next question here is from Tags and Labels. It says, what does DM and BOLO mean? Anyone? That's a good question, because I forget that like not everyone knows the reselling lingo. DM is direct message, and that means like on Instagram or Facebook, you can direct message someone. And BOLO means be on the lookout. And it's just like, hey, you should be on the lookout for this brand. So people call them BOLOs. Let's see. Someone said, am I scared of a possible recession? Sales will go down. The illness is a pandemic. I don't know. I try not to get caught up in that stuff. Will there be a recession? Maybe, but I think that there's kind of been one coming for a while. Bubbles always burst, and we're kind of at this height. The other thing that we have to remember is that we get almost everything from China, and right now those factories are not open and working. And I'm already seeing it with some friends' business where they can't get the product in that they need. And so I think what America doesn't understand is in the next 6 months, we're going to not be able to get, like, a lot of companies produce all of their clothing in China, and they're not going to be able to get that stuff shipped in. So I think that resellers actually have an advantage because we do have product. It will be interesting. I don't know. I don't want to, like, shake people up. Teresa said, I was wondering what site you had employees save listings to so you can go back and look them over before making active. When I had employees in the past, I just used eBay, and you could save up to like 200 drafts on there. But I'm going to use Vendoo for new employees. So Vendoo, I'll be able to have them upload and do all the listings from there, and then I can just push them live. So Vendoo, since you can only have 15 or 14 drafts on Poshmark, which is like, what's the point? That's not enough. That's just not... Why? It's like the 14 is not enough. So I'll use a site called Vendoo. And speaking of Vendoo, they gave me a referral link. So if you want to sign up to use Vendoo, it's a pretty cool site. You can cross list. So you can build your listing there and then you can send it out to like 5 different sites. Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and so forth. So it does all your cross listing for you. If you want to sign up for them and you haven't yet, there is a code down below that I will link, and I believe you get 25% off your first month. They have all different types of tiers. I mean, I think the lowest is only a few bucks. So go check it out. That's what I'm going to be using. I've known the Vendoo guys for a very long time. You can go watch the interview that I did with them. But use my link down below. It helps me out. I don't get like a huge percentage or anything, but you know, it gives you guys a discount, and that's always good. Someone asked, I'd like to ask what type of phone do you have? You want to get a new pre-owned one, and so I am spoiled, and I get the newest iPhone every single year. We are on a plan with Verizon, and we literally both upgrade every single year. I do that mostly because my phone gets so much use that the battery is usually at like 85% when I turn it in. You can go see like what your battery looks like on an iPhone. So I get the newest one every year. That sounds very bratty of me, but it is what it is. It's for my business. I want the newest technology because not only am I taking photos for Poshmark items, but I'm also doing social media, and I want to have good photos for that. So I have the 11 Pro Max, whatever the best iPhone is. I have that one. Can I please add my clothing racks and hangers to my Amazon list? I get this question a lot. A lot of you want to know where my pant hangers come from. They were a gift. So my friend owned what was it? It's like a show, like a clothing show where vendors come and stuff. And so she had all these garment bags with these professional hangers. They were like garment bags where you hold like 20 items in one bag, because that's what vendors use for like samples of items. And she gave them all to me, and they all had those hanging racks with like the longer hangers or the longer necks. And a lot of you asked me about them, but I tried to find them online. I can't find them. They were older. So I don't know where you can get my hangers from. The others are just like velvet hangers from Costco. That's where they're the cheapest. And then my racks both my big rack came from Costco. And then the other one is just like a cheap Target one that was 20 bucks. So I can't add my exact ones to my Amazon list, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'll try and find similar ones though and put them up there for you. Let's see here. Okay, Becky asked me about mystery boxes. How do I do them? Do I put current listings? Do you do it by size, mix sizes? What do you do? Becky, I try not to do mystery boxes anymore because, to be honest, most people don't like they're excited about getting a mystery box, but it's very hard to please people when it comes to mystery boxes. So I don't do very many. I did it like once this year because I had so much back stock that I needed to clear it out. But I don't have intentions of doing mystery boxes any time. But you can do it however you want. Some people do it by size, some people don't. I always just put like 5 pounds in a box, so there was no like category that it fell under. A lot of people asked, Sally Ann asked, do I share my closet? How often and how many of your listings do you share? Yeah, I do full closet shares, and I try to do it once or twice a day whenever I can just like sit down and do it. Unfortunately, I don't have like scheduled time out to do it, but usually like in the morning I'll sit down at my desk and share my closet while I watch some news or something exciting. Someone asked, when measuring items, is it best to use a fabric or construction measuring tape for more accuracy? We just use like a bendy, plasticky one, but we have it taped to the front of the desk. And then when we're on the computer, you can like type and work, and it's right there, taped down. So that's what we do. Kimberly said I'm hilarious. Thank you. Okay, last question, and then we're going to wrap it up. So, I get this question a lot, so I'm happy to address it. Christine asked, about the black marker on the tag. So the black marker is just something Goodwill does to make sure that the price on the tag.
Get that. Could you try again?
No.
Okay.
Just to make sure that the price on the tag matches up to the actual price tag. So they'll put like an X for $10, right? And that needs to match up to the price on the tag. It's water soluble. So it just wipes off with like a baby wipe. Very easy. I usually just don't even bother and I just list it as is. I take a picture of the tag, I show it in my listing, and I don't really ever have complaints. So that's what I do. Anyway, guys, thanks for all the great questions. I wish I had time to answer more today. I'll try and do more of these videos though and let you guys know when I'm answering them. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you let me know in a comment down below. Leave a thumbs up. All of that good stuff. I appreciate you guys, and I'll be back again tomorrow with a very exciting video about how I did $1,000 in sales on Poshmark before noon today. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.